All right, welcome to a special edition of Think Big. I have Jared Brader right here alongside of me. We are so excited to bring to you our end of year excitement extravaganza.
Yeah, but you got to have more excitement for that.
Well,
I mean,
you
this
brought
is
the
the
hat.
celebration of the year.
You've already one-upped me with the hat. I should have went full suit. I went full suit. What are we doing tonight, Jared? What's the plan?
Celebrate. The year of celebration was 2022. We're getting ready. We're already in transition mode to 2023, but we wanted to share with you how excited we are, what was accomplished, what happened with our community, how we grew, how you were a part of being the change in audiology. And just wanted to recap that.
I think one of the things we were hoping for you, whoever's watching this video right now, whether you're a part of our group or you're not a part of the group, is one of your takeaways is that you go home and do this with your own team, whether your team is you and your spouse, you and your coworkers, your partner, if you have one in the business, anybody around you that you can share wins, but especially the people that are in your business, you should be doing the same thing you're going to see us do tonight.
Yeah, well, how often do you hear that it's a bad time of year, the practice isn't hitting goals in December, excitement's down, stress is up, right? Like Christmas expenses are around the corner. And this is the most important time where you can pump up the team, you can say thank you, you can celebrate their personal wins, you can celebrate your practices wins, you can give the team the energy they need right now to hit their goals in this last month, to prepare for 2023, and to make sure that you not only finish this year strong, but start next year strong. And you have to recognize and celebrate victories.
Yep, I love it. And it's all about where you put your energy, right? And wherever you're putting your energy as the leader, the team owner, the CEO, the manager, whatever your position is, wherever your energy goes is where everybody else is going to follow. So your energy is in the negativity, your energy is in burnout zone, your energy is in it's been a long year, we've worked really hard. That's where everybody's following. If your energy is here's all of our accomplishments, look at how amazing we are, that's where everybody's going to follow you to.
And I wouldn't even think the negative energy, but the lack of energy, sure. Right? So like I said, if you're noticing the team is down right now, if they're distracted, if they're focused on Christmas and families and holidays like you should be, right, then you have to bring the energy to the team. We're going to do that for you right now today. And thanks for being with us.
Yep. Let's jump into it. So we've made an amazing list. I can't remember how many you counted, 26 things. So bear with us. We've had a hell of a year. We're super excited about everything that we accomplished, our team accomplished, Dr. Darryl Reese, who's not here with us tonight. Everything that everybody has done, we made a massive list. We're going to share that list with you. And then I think we have a few things that we want to kind of like touch on specifics on. So,
yeah, I think you just have to start with January of last year, right? Was the last time the four of us were together and traveled the country. I think we visited 5 practices that I remember, probably more than that, in the first like 45 days of last year, crisscrossing the country. I know you were away from the family and kids for about a week.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was amazing. I can't think of a better way to start the year as a coach than visiting those 5 offices. And we went to some amazing practices, January, February, and March in the beginning of the year. Amazing practices, had some amazing meetings with their entire staff, amazing breakthrough sessions with their staff, making sure that the whole team was calibrated, energized, ready to take action on 2022, and had goals that were all in alignment.
Yeah, well, and just how often do you get, right, 4 content matter experts, 4 coaches, that level of commitment to come to your practice, to sit in your office, and to help you set and realize the goals that you want to accomplish in 2022. It was a great start to the year. I don't know that we're going to do that type of thing again unless you're really in committed in the group and ready to do some massive things. We could make it happen, but for all of us to travel the country, it was great team building for us. It was a great opportunity to get to know you and our members, and it really started us off into one of our best years ever.
It absolutely did. It springboarded us into what would become, I think, the biggest year that Aud Experts has had, the biggest year your clinics have had. And we want to share all of that as well. And the next thing I remember would probably be March. In the mastermind in March, back down in Scottsdale. We're only a few months away from being back down there again. So if you don't know already, we'll be back down in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona area in March for our mastermind, the first mastermind of 2023 again. And again, massive springboard for everybody that comes to that. I think the March mastermind is my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it has been for years, right? Like that is the moment when the new year resolutions have probably worn off, or you've realized you didn't start off as strong as you did. We all come together as a coaching and a community down in Scottsdale, Arizona. Last year, we invited people to spend their clarity break with me and my family, your family, on our clarity break. And we covered everything from how to have a clarity break to a marketing implementation session for our members and how to build the systems they were going to need. And then we had our 2-day mastermind, which was just putting great private practice owners who are the highest rated in their market, who are committed to the medical treatment of hearing loss, into one room. And if you've ever heard of the words masterclass, mastermind, alignment, like that's the perfect opportunity. We do it in Scottsdale. It's just absolutely amazing. I know we were around fire pits. Yep. We had some pickleball time,
pool time. We had a few cocktails here and there. Absolutely amazing. The weather's amazing that time of year. And I think if you've never been in our mastermind room, I will say this. Every mastermind that we do with our clients ends with action items and to-dos. And if you're attending anybody else's mastermind groups out there, group think, brainstorms, whatever you want to call it, if you're not leaving those meetings with action items and to-dos that the people that were in that meeting are going to hold you accountable to the next time you see them, you're in the wrong room.
So I wish I had your wife here, because everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to know that I shocked everybody. How did we get down to that mastermind?
Yeah, that was huge. And it was a highlight. It was the first time we did it that year, but it wasn't the last time we did it this year. I flew privately for the first time. I don't know if it was your first time, but I was very fortunate enough to have myself, both of my 2 kids and my wife all on a private plane down to Scottsdale, Arizona for the first time in our life. And that was, I mean, truly, I said once in a lifetime. I keep saying once in a lifetime, and Jared says you have to stop saying that because we're going to fly private again. But it was amazing, exceptional experience, truly once in a lifetime.
And don't forget your mother-in-law was there too. You left her off of that list.
Yeah, we'll edit that part.
So amazing opportunity, and the only reason I bring that up, right, is right. We needed something to spark us. We needed something to celebrate last year's success, 2021 success, right? And I wanted to lift the team up. I wanted to help the team think big, which was with the impetus of this series of calls. Is how do you think big? How do you expand your goals? How do you expand your vision? Did it do that?
Oh, of course, absolutely, it did, without a doubt. And it was the beginning conversations, right? What I just heard Jared say, one of the reasons I love working around Jared, and you have to ask yourself this as a leader, imagine celebrating your last year's win in March, right? How different is that? That's a hard thing to do as a business owner, to yet again still say, we did amazing last year and I'm still celebrating how good you were all the way into March. Absolutely amazing. And then his law of abundance and the way Jared thinks and his teachings to everybody else of to live an abundant life, something I would have never dreamed of myself doing, let alone my entire family doing alongside of me, accomplished in the first few months of the year, truly set me up for the rest of the year to think big and think abundantly.
So I mentioned while we were down there, we had the mastermind, but I want to take like 2 steps back. Right before the mastermind, we brought practice owners in. We rented out a co-working space, a couple big whiteboards, a couple big TVs, and we did the first ever marketing implementation boot camp.
Right.
And just tell me from your perspective, or the coaching clients that you work with every week, every month, what was that to you? What was that opportunity?
You know, the thing I loved about the implementation side of the marketing boot camp that's different than what we've done before is people always come to me. Anytime people are joining the coaching group, they're thinking about joining the group. Jared has this almost like mythical allure about him of how he can attract patients, how he can get new business, and his marketing. Everybody wants to know, what is Jared doing for marketing? What's different this year? What I loved about the implementation workshop is that it was about how he's actually pulling it off, not what he's doing. Everybody wants to know, what is Jared doing? What is Jared doing? No one ever asks the question of how is he pulling it off? What steps is he taking? What is the process that he is following to get patients into his practice? And that's exactly what we spent those 2 days talking about.
It was a great start. And the exciting news, right? On December 19th, we have who was one of the standout star pupils, best implementers we've seen, Kim Garrett of Timpanogos Hearing and Tinnitus, who actually at that workshop got up in front of the room and started writing white on the board, flow charts. This is how automation works. This is how the systems Jared's taught me's work. And her and I are going to do a free webinar on marketing implementation. So if you haven't seen that webinar, if you're watching this on recording, you need to watch that webinar. And then you need to decide, how am I going to deploy this and implement this in my own practice to get the best results, to get Kim's results, to get Jared's results, to get the results our best clients around the country are doing.
Agreed. And I think Kim is a great example, and the marketing workshop, the implementation workshop down in Phoenix was a great example of the seeds that you plant today, right? And you talk about that all the time. Think about that all the way back in March. Kim talking about how she got to this point and what her plan was. She started a massive tinnitus campaign for her patients up in northern Utah that she accomplished in like record time, I would consider, because she had focus, because she had intention, and because way back in March, she was planting those seeds and doing the right thing with the right behavior pattern. And now you look at her at the end of the year, here she is on the webinar with you talking about how to implement marketing, less than a year later. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, also that was such an action-packed week. And if you're wondering what you can do in 2023, and if you don't have plans, you need to be there for that week in March. This year, last year, we also started the Excellence in Audiology national marketing campaign, and we had 3 people step forward, in addition to myself and Dr. Darrow, to become founding members. And this movement is to connect with My Marketing and Systems, with our collaborative effort as a community to connect 1 million private pay patients with local private practices around the country. So thanks to Kim and Lane Garrett, Dr. Laura Vinipol, and Mia Mounts out in Ohio, that group came together with us and said, we're going to give you the seed money to start this national marketing. We're going to give you the seed money to build the website, build the infrastructure, build the automation. And to this point, last I checked, we were about 3,200 patients have found a local practice in the first, we're about 6-7 months in, 3,200 local patients have found a local private practice for treatment or education because of those efforts. So a huge shout out and a thank you to them and investing in our future as a profession. And you can learn more about that from us at our masterminds, on our free calls, on our webinars. But just thank you again to that group. Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Matt, March was huge for us. Agreed.
Yeah,
I mean, March is probably, and again, this March, it's going to springboard us into yet again another record-breaking.
Well, and I think you have to talk about, right, the Clarity Break component. We were there for a marketing implementation bootcamp. We were there for a mastermind, but our Clarity Breaks are huge. And the next Clarity Break with us is in Mexico, right? So we're going down to Mexico. We have a Leaders and Legacy program in January of this year. It just happens to coincide with my favorite time of year and my trip to Mexico. But we're going to do that same thing 4 times a year with these Clarity Breaks, if not more. And it just allows us to finally put traction to our vision, finally put more traction to our purpose, to think big, think outside of the day-to-day fires and accomplish more. So absolutely great time. It's probably the number1 thing I would recommend for anybody is find a way to be at one of our March events down in Scottsdale.
Absolutely. Reach out to me, Morgan at audexperts.com, and I'll get you linked up with the dates, where we're staying, what's happening. We're going to be down there all week. We'll be there Monday through Saturday afternoon. So if you want to link with us any of those days, we'll be there. The thing I would add with Clarity Breaks, and I think you can attest to this, it's definitely true. If you're struggling or you're suffering with burnout because of the time of the year, you're exhausted, you're frustrated with your team, without a doubt, the thing you need in your life is a Clarity Break. And that does not mean a vacation. You might need that for your own mental health, but you need a Clarity Break to work on your business ASAP.
So we have so many, we got through one, right? So let's just talk about, let's just list off some of the other ones. You've created and Reese created a ton of new content for our online training university. I think we probably have more videos, more courses, more modules, more explainers, more CEUs than any other site out there that I know of. And it's not even about more, it's different. It's not the standard practice content. This is from us working in private practice, from us in our own business fighting through the challenges and then building tools, systems, and content that will help other private practice owners compress time, take quicker action, and achieve more results.
I love that. Yeah, you're getting the boots on the ground perspective of how we do it in our office. And if you have any doubts or questions about how Jared does it, ask around the industry, and I'm sure they'll tell you. We'll get to his expansion this year into Texas, Arizona, Massachusetts, and Utah, and how amazing his clinics are doing. So you get my perspective as one of his team leaders, you get Reese's perspective as one of the team leaders, and Dr. Darrow's perspective as one of the team leaders in the office. Of course, the one that I love the most is going to be the leadership. Amazing leadership summit that we had this year, and in conjunction with that, the leadership homework that was a part of that, understanding your instincts videos that are on there. If you don't know about Kolbe and understanding the people that work around you, I love that video module that is on there. And then of course onboarding. We completely revamped all of Jared's onboarding modules this year, how an employee gets onboarded in the first 60 days, what the reviews look like for those employees once they have been onboarded, the training contents, the videos they have to watch, the books they have to read.
Yeah, and I think more than revamping it, right? We actually also recorded it. We also updated the manuals, the processes, right? So there's absolutely no way somebody can enter the business and kind of get left behind anymore, right? Like
No
it's damn near impossible.
Yeah.
And at the same time, right, we created new content across the board. We created a new Odd Experts website. We hired a digital marketing specialist in-house to help with our national advertising movement, to help our website. Yep. We deployed some new ClickFunnels that we've been testing for the year and look forward to sharing with you next year. Yep. Just so much new content, because what I found as I struggled through the private practice plateaus, when I first started in audiology and hearing healthcare, and the practice was 400,000 all the way through creating a $10 million plus organization, I found that there were certain plateaus, certain areas where I started to lose my drive, where I felt burnt out, where I couldn't grow anymore. And as I pushed through those, as I created systems, and as I had you and Reese and Keith and Dr. Edwards now working through those situations, we documented it, we recorded it, and we have the solution now that we've seen work in Hawaii to Maine to Massachusetts, Florida, and everywhere in between.
Yeah, and if you want to see this, by the way, if you don't know, it's at training.audexperts.com. Reach out to me if you need any more information on that. But one of the two favorite pieces of content that I want to touch on that came out this year, Stages of Hearing Loss.
Yep.
Amazing, powerful tool that Dr. Darrow helped us create that I think you're going to see come out more and more within the next 2 years or so. By the time that makes its circulation around the world and people start to understand what that truly means, absolutely amazing. Number 2 for me, best practices.
Sure.
Absolutely love the best practices because you have to have process and procedures in place for your office.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway there, Morgan's jumping ahead here, is those were pieces, right? And they were shared with Dr. Darrow at the Neuroscience Bootcamp. We need to talk about Neuroscience Bootcamp.
Oh, yeah.
Single biggest event. We had private practice owners, practitioners coming together. And when you say best practices, it's not the same best practices that audiology and hearing healthcare has been sharing in textbooks. It's actually the innovation, the forward thinking, the medical treatment of hearing loss and tinnitus, the best practices that the only Harvard and MIT trained neuroscientists practicing and owning a practice in audiology has come together and built, and that we've tested and proven, like I said, from Hawaii to Massachusetts, Florida to Maine, Montana, Utah, everywhere in between. It's a proven model, it's different, and it's innovative thinking on the medical treatment of hearing loss and tinnitus.
Absolutely. And if you haven't seen it, it's going to blow your mind. Neuroscience Bootcamp.
Yeah, exactly. So if you haven't seen it, you're missing out. And we need to see you at neurosciencebootcamp.com. Neurosciencebootcamp.com. We still have a few openings. That event is in May. But tell us about last year so people can understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the first day right away, Thursday, the story is the same for this year, by the way. When you go to neurosciencebootcamp.com, Thursday of the event is going to be the Brain Lab tour. And I think that blew everybody's mind. First time for a lot of them that they've been in that setting. Dr. Darrow is right at home in that setting, being back in that lab, brains in his hand, talking about everything that's going on inside of each one of our bodies as you listen to this video. Absolutely mind-blowing. I think that was for a lot of people, that was the highlight of the 3 days, and that was the first 2 hours of the event.
Yeah, and Dr. Terry Edwards helped put that together down in Texas. It was amazing to connect our Neuroscience Bootcamp with the Brain Lab tour. And I think for all of you, it's not even the ear anymore. It's not even the ear to brain connection anymore. Hearing loss manifests itself throughout your entire body, whether it's social isolation, depression, your overall cellular makeup is determined and affected by your hearing loss and tinnitus. And so to dive deep for 2 days plus the Brain Lab day, to understand the physiology of what's happening and to make sure your team is the most educated team, the highest rated team that can explain this to patients, allows you to differentiate from OTC and widget talk to truly being the medical professional in your community.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Neurosciencebootcamp.com. You don't want to miss it if you haven't been there.
Yeah, this year you're going to hear from people like Doug Beck is on stage with us. Dr. Keith Darrow is going to be there again. Dr. Terry Edwards is on stage. Dr. Como Elliott's going to be on stage.
Dr. Hannah Glick.
Yeah, going to be amazing. Absolutely killer lineup that's going to be out there this year. You want me to run through the list?
Yeah,
stop me when we get something better. So Leadership Summit, second time we did that this year. That's my event I hold every year in August. absolutely amazing. Second time we did it, highest gathering that I've had so far. I think I had 30 people in the room. Absolutely crushed that event. If you were at that one, I appreciate you being there.
I think, but you have to tell everybody that was the starting point, right? Like that was the launch pad to become a better leader, to build leaders in your practice, to have an autonomous team, to move beyond private practice plateau number 1, where you are doing all the work, where you are the owner, the operator, the doctor, the phones person, taking out the trash, to building a team and getting to private practice plateau number 2, private practice plateau number 3. You have to build up an organization. You have to build a culture. You have to build a set of team leaders. You're going to see those team leaders from my practice in Mexico, but Mexico is the next stage. If you were at the Leadership Summit last year with Morgan and you got a taste of leadership and you got a taste of autonomy and a taste of culture, your next step is the Leaders and Legacy program. It's leadersandlegacy.com. We have a special with our end of year program where they can get it at a huge discount. But what are you going to do maybe a little bit in Mexico and for this 6-month program next year leading up to next year's leadership?
So I mean, massive goals are going to be set in Mexico. So realize if you are coming to Mexico, you're agreeing to set with intention probably some of the biggest goals you've ever set for yourself, your team, and your profit revenue line of your company in Mexico than you've ever set ever before. So be prepared for that if you're coming. And then the follow-up of the 6 months after that is all about accountability and making sure that you as a leader are making your own self-growth for the people around you, whereas Leadership Boot Camp was a 2-day event. See you later, goodbye. This one is going to be a hand-holding event with Jared Brader, making sure that you do what you promised to your team you're going to be doing.
I promise you want to be there. This guy has been a thorn in my side now for like 6 years, made me a better leader, made me recover from my entire leadership team quitting and walking out on me, made me recover from firing good people or letting them go or bullying them or not getting the most productivity out of them. And now we have the best team we've ever had in the clinic. So thank you, Morgan, for that.
You're welcome. It's been a hell of a ride. CDP course going to be in March this year, correct?
The live course is in March.
Course,
There's going to be another one later, but the live course.
March in Phoenix, same thing. Morgan.experts if you want to be there. Dr. Darrow had a speaking engagement in South Africa. First time we've ever been to that event.
Just a huge stage in a new
country. Amazing.
Yeah.
IHS talks, both Dr. Darrow and I spoke alongside Doug Beck at IHS this year in San Antonio, Texas. Never forget it. Amazing experience.
Tell me what that's like. How do you go from digging ditches, right, out of college, digging ditches, to becoming an employee in a hearing healthcare practice, to becoming a director of operations, to becoming a coach, to now you're speaking on the International Hearing Society's largest stage?
Yeah, and I tell everybody this. It's a great question. I tell everybody this. There is no easy pill. There's no easy button. Trust the process, and I'm thankful that somebody like Jared had a process for me to follow with his mentorship, his guidance, allowing me to follow him around for all these years and learn from what he's doing, following and learning from Dr. Darrow. You got to trust the process. It's not going to happen tomorrow. And then number 2, I tell everybody this, you have to become a student of the game. You have to love what you're doing. I love the quote of the man who loves walking will always walk further than the person that's in it for the destination. So you've got to love it. You've got to love the game, and you've got to trust the process. 5X, this was kind of a big one. I don't know if you can give us the quick down and dirty version, but 5X, Jared created all new marketing content, including automation, digital advertising, direct mail, 5X funnels. Hit me with the...
So, I mean, it's been a journey, right? On creating content and having the alignment of Dr. Darrow and neuroscience. 5X was the newest iteration. It's probably about the 5th real iteration that's been launched of content. It's about the patient journey. It's about differentiating from OTC widget talk. It's about differentiating from Costco. The content in the patient journey included videos, it included newsletters, it included reports, white papers, a second book. The amount of content and education that we've put out to patients has solidified us as the trusted authority in the marketplace. We have that content. We can share that content with you. We can help you build your own content. This content has the highest click-through rate of any marketing I've ever seen digitally. It has the highest ROI. It's allowed us to expand. It's allowed our clients to expand. It's allowed everybody in our circle and in our community to elevate above above the fold, to elevate above the challenges, the recession, the layoffs, the hiring problems, the OTC. What this does is ensures the future of private practice. It ensures that you have the tools that the large corporations, the Apples of the world, the Microsofts of the world have within your own private practice. It preserves and protects where we're going as a community and where we're going as a profession.
I love that. So beautiful. We got to clip that. We're gonna find that back when we run this back. Preventing Decline. If you haven't read Dr. Darrow's newest book, you can request that at
Preventingdecline.com.
Perfect. So easy. That's why you explained those.
That's why we have 300 URLs,
yeah,
right? So
there's
that
too many.
you have an opportunity to get into our community at the point you want to get into our community. If you want to know who are these crazy people, how are they being successful? I mean, you have those calls every day, but preventingdecline.com.
Cookbook, brand new cookbook, hot off the press. Jared's going nuts with it here in town. I see that thing everywhere. Amazing cookbook from Dr. Darrow about healthy recipes for your brain.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Darrow put, 8 months into this, right? A cookbook, pictures, recipes, all around our purpose, which is to educate and treat the 42+ million people here in America and now the hundreds of millions around the world. So we have the cookbook. He has the new Preventing Decline. Like I said, he has over 54 videos in the 5X package. The amount of content we have for you is unbelievable. It's available to you. It's part of our special. We want to give it back to private practice because guess what? I'm already on 10X. So you can have 5X, you can deploy it in your practice. I'm on to the next thing because we're here to innovate and protect what you're doing as a private practitioner.
Love it. Gans, Dr. Gans.
Oh, wait, you can't skip the magazine, right? We had the second
true.
year of America's Audiologist magazine, the next version coming out in January. If you want to be listed, national magazine going out to all excellence in audiology communities. If you want to be listed, if you want your share of 1 million private pay patients, you got to reach out. You got to be part of that movement. And we're going to do it because we can do it together.
Gans and Dr. Darrow were just together in Florida at American Institute of Balance event. Absolutely amazing event. We can't thank Dr. Gans and his staff enough for that. If you guys are watching this, you guys are outstanding. Thank you. Exceptional event. Some clients decided to move forward with our content after that. We have a great relationship with those guys. And how fun to have an event with balance and hearing loss, Dr. Darrow and Dr. Gans on stage together sharing their messages. I thought it was amazing. New team members. We have Josh on the team now who's helping Jared alongside with all the content that we're pushing out. You see our new AudExperts website that we've built. That's all Josh. The ClickFunnels that we have are all Josh. A lot of those landing pages that you're seeing are all Josh. He's helping Jared a ton build all this new content you're seeing. And then Dr. Edwards, who has been with our coaching group for, I want to say 3 years. She's been around now, running a successful practice in Dallas, Texas for the last.
Yeah, I think the story you have to know here, right, is was a member of Audigy, had a great private practice, did a tremendous work raising a family and running a practice, and couldn't make it past private practice plateau number 1. Yeah. Right? Started with our coaching group, started with coaching, very specific, very intentional goals, a great operator of a practice, and said, here, I want to get beyond private practice plateau number 1, coach me through it, teach me how to be not only an audiologist, but an owner manager and an owner investor. Right. And so we got her to her exit point and she exited the business. She had a successful exit. She made, a good deal. And now she is part of our community. She's aligned with our vision. She's our chief clinical implementer of the best practices protocol of the medical treatment of hearing loss and tinnitus. She was a huge part of the neuroscience boot camp last year and getting that brain lab tour. And we're just getting started.
It's just the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. She's been instrumental in the trainings that we've had this far, and I can't wait to see what she does next year. I want to save those two for later. This is a big one. I don't know if you want to touch on investors, but this was a first this year, officially having people that are alongside Jared, aligned with his goals, and actively taking on investors that want to be a part of Jared's growth and his expansion. And I want to finish with Jared's expansion here in just a second into Texas and Arizona. I'm going to rifle through these, Jay, unless you have a big one. 3 Canadian clients who we love. It's been absolutely amazing watching those guys grow up there in the northern atmosphere. And I just want to say to the Canadian clients, you guys are amazing. I can't wait to watch you guys dominate up there and create everything that we have down here in the States. Best practices being built, onboarding. Reset 26 trainings this year, on-site trainings this year. traveled all around the country. I think he had 12 trainings in 12 different
He's
states.
got to be about a diamond medallion member or
45
something
days.
on the
Oh
airlines,
yeah, he's
right?
got so many miles, it's insane. If you haven't had him to your practice, reach out to me, Morgan at Odd Experts. I promise you his trainings will increase revenue, more patients treated, more satisfied employees, amazing trainings. We are actually the highest rated, I do believe I can say this, the highest rated coaching group in audiology currently. That's new this year, thanks to Reese and his event that he just held in Southern Utah. You launched an AUD student program with Dr. Laura Vinopol out of Wisconsin this year. Amazing. Can't wait to watch you guys take those students, mold them, and turn them into successful
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
and I think the thing, just quickly, you have to understand every time there's a new program, a new community, a new group, a new solution, it's because we ran into a problem or a deficiency in our practice. And the number one thing when you start growing and scaling, when you move into private practice plateau number 3 and 4 is growth, right? And where is your next provider going to come from? Where's your next doctor going to come from? The AUD student program at Excellence in Audiology is going to be fantastic. Laura Vinopol is going to be a great leader there. She's already speaking to AUD programs around the country. She already has marketing funnels set up for it. And she's sponsoring 20 students to attend the neuroscience bootcamp in May.
So cool. So cool. Next year, Dr. Darrow and Doug Beck are going to be on stage together at AAA. So watch out for that if you're going to the AAA event next year. Dr. Darrow is also on the CogniView board now, which is pretty awesome. We love the team at CogniView. Have them in all of Jared's offices. Recommend them to everybody. 42 episodes of Dr. Darrow's podcast, which you can find on Spotify and YouTube.
And now putting them out every week.
Every week.
And not to mention that there's an additional 12 CEU courses. He did a CEU course every month to help our members, our community. They're all available online as recordings so that you can understand the medical treatment of hearing loss and you can get your team and your community and your providers up to speed quicker.
Love it. Are you ready?
Sure.
This is my
What are we
big-
talking about? What are we talking
This is
about?
my big, I really want Jared to share his message here because at the end of the day, one of the biggest things we're celebrating so far this year is Jared's expansion into new territories, the best team that we've ever built at Intermountain Audiology and Hearing Brain Centers of America, the highest rated team in the country, and now these new offices that went so quickly. I mean, it was like that, and all of a sudden you said we're doing 2 offices in Arizona and not 1. We're in Texas all of a sudden, and that's just the beginning. There's already more plans.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're short on time, but you and Reese made me take a step back a few years ago, close a couple offices, sell a couple offices, and realign with a stronger foundation because you saw where I wanted to go in the future. You knew what my vision was, and you can't build something that big, that much scale on a shaky foundation. So we did take a step back for a couple of years. We built all the process. We've fine-tuned the process, the systems, the marketing, the science, the mindset, all of it, rebuilt it. And then this year was the year, right? So I remember my goal was to open Arizona in March. It didn't open until late October, but it's going to be, $250,000 in revenue in 2 months. November, December, $250,000 in revenue, brand new office.
Yeah.
Second office opening right after Christmas down in the Arizona market. Third office, fourth office, right? We're going to open another office every quarter next year. People think I'm crazy, but when you have the systems and the team, I've always said it, I'll say it again, alignment accelerates achievement.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to remember that now that the team is aligned, now that the processes and systems and people are aligned, we can do it. And the alignment came not only internally, but externally through the investors that Morgan mentioned, that they said, hey, we're good at running a private practice, but we don't want to run at the same speed, the same scale, or the same altitude that Jared is running with his team. But we do want to be a part of something. We want to be a part of Excellence in Audiology. We want to be a part of the Hearing and Brain Centers of America. And we want to invest our proceeds from our private practice into growth that we don't have to manage, that we don't have to hire and fire and train, that we don't have to take so much time and effort. We move them from owner operator to owner manager to owner investor. And those have been great relationships. We're just getting started. And we're going to see actually first distribution checks on January 5th.
Can't wait.
So people are going to have money in their hand.
Yep, I can't wait. The thing I would tell you, Jared, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add here, but the thing I would tell you in 2023, if you're not sitting down with your team and sharing with them these wins, if you don't have wins, you feel like you don't have wins because you didn't set goals, this is what starts your year off on the right foot. And the thing that I would say to you, if you want to grow your practice, you want to grow your business next year, Follow someone who has already done it successfully. Don't go into this next year thinking I'll try and do the same old thing that I've been doing. I'll follow the manufacturer, the big box store. I'll follow this guy down the road who told me that years ago it worked for him. Follow somebody who's actually putting these things into practice and doing it successfully. We wouldn't be headed to Arizona, Texas, Massachusetts, again, an expansion into Utah if they weren't working. Okay, so I want you guys to understand you should only be taking advice from people that are doing successfully what you want to do with your business.
Yeah, and I would just tell you, data drives decisions. We have the data on our programs, our systems, our people, right? And then remember, alignment accelerates that achievement. If you can align around a group, a community, a coaching group, somebody like myself that has the honor to lead other practice owners on the path that I've already blazed the trail, right? And you're going to do it slightly different. You're going to have your own parallel journey, but I can tell you what those plateaus were. I can tell you where I failed. I can tell you why I lost my management team. I can tell you why I lost great people. And I can also tell you how to get from nothing to private practice plateau 4 to 10 million and wherever else you want to go, because I've been there myself. We're in the battle with you right now, and we're championing you, the private practice owner, to do what you wanted to do, to leave the legacy that you want to leave. And I hope you'll join us in 2023.